And so let's dominate together. Today is a good day to rank the best altcoins for the 2025 bull run from S tier all the way down to E tier. I'm really excited because ultimately it's going to provide you a clear path to hopefully your financial freedom. And what do I mean by that in the tier list video? I just mean sometimes it is good to know, hey, I have this altcoin and this altcoin in my portfolio. What does Kyron think? What does someone who spends all their time, energy, and resources in the crypto market think? Now, in that exact statement, I want to say, this is my own personal preference. This is my subjective thoughts on each of these altcoins. I can guarantee you every single one of you out there will disagree on at least 1, 2, or 3 of these altcoins, let alone most of you probably disagree on all of them. Okay, it's my opinion, so I just want to let you all know, happily, allow you guys to disagree with that. Now, what am I ranking these altcoins on, and how is this going to be essentially a map for you to go throughout the bull run? Again, this is for those of you who are more an armchair investor, don't have the time to put into investing and looking into these sort of projects like I can. Well, this, as you can see here, is what I'm going to kind of use to map out what I'm going to rank these projects based on my own instincts and subjectiveness. Okay, so these are the narratives I've chosen to be the most explosive, at least ranking from the most explosive to the least explosive in the next bull run. And why is this important? Because narratives dictate where the most money will flow, and where the most money will flow, if that altcoin in particular stands out, which is what I call the meme, then of course is going to propagate most of the upward price action. So let's not waste any more time now and get straight into it. So the first altcoin today is Arweave. Look, I can spend all day. There's like 50 altcoins here, like 51 altcoins in this list, right? So I could be here for 2-3 minutes each just explaining to you guys what I think about each of these ones, what's kind of happening in each of them. But I'm just going to play it nice and safe here. And personally, what I think about Arweave, it's a great project, has a lot of upside potential, storage, decentralized computing. So in my opinion, I'm going to put it in the B tier. Probably could put it in the A tier, to be honest with you. We'll leave it there at least for now. ADA, I think ADA's got a great sort of use case. Of course, ADA's right in the DeFi Web3 space. I think you can't go wrong with ADA. It's going to definitely go up in the bull run. Personally, what would I rank it on this list? I think any short of a B would be kind of upsetting, right? Algorand, I love Algorand. Can't say a single bad thing about Algorand other than the fact that people think it's going to go bad, which oftentimes if the hive mentality thinks it does, chances are it might. So that might rank it down from like an S tier, for example. I want to put it in the A tier. API 3, it's competing with the likes of Chainlink. It's going to be a little bit harsh. I like their idea, but honestly, C tier, I think, for now. Arbitrum, I mean, look, Arbitrum Nova, they've got some great sort of aspects to the network that allows it to, expand. It is competing with Polygon. Polygon is by far the leader in the sort of scaling approach for Ethereum, but I think Arbitrum's got a lot of legs to stand on. A lot of people do love it. So in my opinion, between A and B tier, I might put it in the B tier. So Cosmos, all right, Cosmos, again, you can't go wrong with Cosmos. It is continuing to grow and grow. I'm a big Polkadot fanboy, as you guys know, but it's starting to grow more on me every single day. So honestly, I think it's a B tier for now. Avalanche, I'm not going to waste too much time with AVAX. So I think that unfortunately they are kind of taking a bit of a stance like BNB chain, for example, where they're not getting the cream of the crop projects. I love the protocol. Fundamentally, they have a lot of like real Web 2 development growth on it. And for that reason, I'm going to give it a C tier. BNB, I'm not going to waste any time. A lot of shit coins on this. It's a cesspit for just absolute scams. So in my opinion, E tier. Bitcoin SV, I love Bitcoin SV. I think it's a great network, but in my opinion, I don't like proof of work networks because they fundamentally have a issue with centralization, believe it or not. And there are a few ways to get around it, but in this case, Bitcoin SV can't. I do love it though. So in my opinion, C tier. Bitcoin, I'm going to put Bitcoin. Now you guys are going to kill me for this. Now, the reason I'm going to rank it a D is only because, not because I think it can't be adopted worldwide and stuff, only because it is highly centralized and people are very misunderstood about this very well-known asset, unfortunately. So just to put in the D tier, at least in my opinion, for now, I'm going to get so much hate for that. Casper with the C, love it. Lots of NDAs, no Web3 real growth. So in my opinion, it would be like an A tier right next to Algorand, but I'd probably put it in the B tier, might even rank it down to a C tier very soon if it doesn't start to grow, or at least more of these, I guess, NDAs come out, or at least we have some sort of substance to base our things on. But I do think it is a fantastic network, fantastic team. Dogecoin, need I say more? I think, look, Doge would be an E next to BNB chain, but I'm going to put it in the C tier rather, only because Elon Musk could literally pump this thing to the moon. Polkadot, I mean, honestly, I like their move to the block space framework. I think that it would have been a little bit better if we had Polkadot, migrate to this model a lot sooner. I did like the parachains, but to me, I think it might have stagnated their growth a little bit. I think that will come out on top, but honestly, when we're looking at this compared to Cosmos, as much as I would love to put Polkadot in the A tier, right now, I think I'm much more comfortable putting it in the B tier. Now, next is Multiverse X. I love Multiverse X. I love the Sovereign Shards. I think what they're doing fundamentally with creating a very modular network, which means everything can be separated if it needs to be. Everything can grow and be broken up essentially into different parts to continue with the scale. I love the UX. The UI is probably hands down the best in the space. They're most definitely looking for mass adoption. Super developer friendly. A lot of great frameworks there for those guys. And honestly, I think it's undervalued. I know a lot of people think it's overvalued, but I just don't think people have really given it that chance yet. So again, we're building up the B tier, guys, but I want to put it in the B tier. Now, Ethereum. Oh, Ethereum's interesting, right? Because they've moved away from what they were going to be. They've moved now into sort of like a settlement layer. But I think given that, might actually give it more opportunity to continue to grow. A settlement layer doesn't have to be fast, just needs to be secure. So in my opinion, I might put this up in the A tier. Again, keep in mind, guys, like I'm not ranking these based on like 10x to 100x like I had before, or 10x to 50x. I'm ranking these based on the quality I think that they are for the bull run. Now, Filecoin, I mean, look, storage, been going around for a long time. I think people have some concerns out there with supply. Need I say more? I think, Filecoin, in my opinion, is going to be leveraged kind of like Chainlink, right? A lot of networks use it for storage. Therefore, I'm going to put it up in the B tier as well. Now, Flux is a proof of work network. So before, when I said proof of work networks have, this problem with centralization, Flux actually has inbuilt into the network. It's actually a fork of Bitcoin, a way to stop that from happening, but it's also a decentralized cloud computing network. And if you guys know over here, decentralized cloud computing is going to be extremely good narrative, especially a lot of external reports have also said the same thing. So in my opinion, I can't go wrong with this one. I have to give it, I would give it an S tier, but a lot of people don't know about it. So A tier for now. Gala Games, unfortunately, a lot of news recently with the infighting, I guess you could say, or at least the founder versus the largest shareholder. It is not a good look at all. Until that's resolved, it's going to be in the E tier until it is resolved, okay? Now, Moonbeam. Moonbeam's a fantastic network. The only network on Polkadot that has a link to Uniswap, which is pretty important because Uniswap v3 is one of the most used, widely known, and also user-friendly, I guess you could say, DEXs out there. At least it has the market share. So in my opinion, it's gonna grow for sure. A tier. Now, HBAR. I'm not gonna waste too much time with HBAR because you guys know my stance on this. Instantly S tier. Now, ICP again, a proof of work network. Same sort of thing with Flux in the sense that it's it doesn't promote centralization. It actually did copy Flux's proof of useful work method. Anyway, I definitely think this is a grossly undervalued network with a lot of potential. Literally could host the entire world's internet on it, right? So I gave it an S tier last time, and a lot of people hated me for that. But I think you're going to be really, really surprised, right? Next, IOTA. I love IOTA, but as we all know, what's going to happen? Well, unfortunately, IoT is a 4 out of 10. It's not going to be a crazy big narrative in 2024. In the future, it will be. But I think right now, as much as it pains me to say, I really, really hate this, but it's going to have to be an E tier. Kadena, I think it's a great network. A lot of room to grow. It's actually grown a lot since I last spoken about it, to be honest with you guys. I last spoke about it like 5, 6, maybe even 8 months ago, actually. Yeah, I think it was 8 months ago since I last did a dive in Kadena. There was some upgrades they needed to do to the network, at least to the ecosystem, to make it a more viable product for me to buy. But in terms of what they're promoting, and I think the overall growth and meme factor, I'm going to put it in the C tier. Kusama, I think, again, just like Polkadot, it has all the characteristics. It's an extremely appealing project. Less supply, so that might appeal to more degens. But I definitely think in terms of like how I view Kusama, probably going to be a C tier in my opinion, right? Just beneath its sister net Polkadot. Now, Chainlink, I mean, look, Chainlink is Chainlink. You can't go without it. Number one Oracle in the space, CCIP, lots going for it. I'm going to put it in the S tier. Now, here we go. Polygon, right? Polygon is, again, so we have Arbitrum in the B tier. I think it goes without saying, You know, Polygon is doing that just a little bit more, right? It's got that more adoption. It is just a little bit more that synonymous with crypto. It's almost right next to Ethereum at this point, right? When you think of like Web3, you think of Polygon and Ethereum. So I think any less than an A would be an injustice. I might even put it in the S tier. Again, we're not looking for multiples here, we're looking for quality. Now, Mina is one that a lot of people do disregard. People disregard it because, hey, like what it really is, Mina, I don't understand it, It's on a lot of great narratives, ZKPs, layer 1, privacy, and also oracles. It's going to be coming up with this massive upgrade soon, which will allow it to connect to any network and extract data from any network without them actually even knowing about it, thanks to ZKPs. I think guys are going to be very shocked about Mina. S tier it is. Now, Oasis, a little bit less than Mina in my opinion. Same sort of premise as Mina, but obviously doesn't have that same ZKP super focused base. But it is focusing on the enterprise networks, and in my opinion, it's just not as wow factor in this case. So I'm thinking between C and D tier, but I think for argument's sake, let's put it in the C tier for now. Now, of course, next we have Quant, and I don't think anyone can disagree with me when I say Quant is an S tier project. I'm not going to even bother with wasting the time explaining why. If you guys think it's just an ERC20 token, again, Ethereum is a settlement layer. All Quant does is use Ethereum to settle their transactions. All the transactions happen on their private network, essentially. So, need I say more? Render. All right, I got into a conversation about this with a good friend of mine, Tokenizer, and he loves Render. Actually, I love Render as well, but he actually would probably rate this an S tier project, right? I think it's probably can fit in the S tier, but personally speaking, I think A tier undoubtedly right now. Reserve, I mean, I love Reserve. It's got fantastic use case with the whole stablecoin premise, and you can create your own stablecoins. I think it's got a lot of merit in real life situations, has a lot of impact in Latin America right now, but the people want it, the degens want it. Is it going to pop off in 2025? This is something I'm going to use to rank it. And so with that being said, I'm going to actually put it, unfortunately, I'm putting the C tier. Now Solana, I think Solana is a great network because you asked me this 8-9 months ago and I would have said the complete opposite thing. But they've done so much, right? They're doing so much. Anatoly is literally fixing the issues, but also he's, I think, moving finally into this, like, okay, Solana's gonna be a viable product. Like, I think it's gonna be right next to Ethereum in terms of being synonymous with crypto and Web3 at this point, maybe even more than Cardano, okay? Even though Cardano has a fantastic ecosystem growing. So in my opinion, Solana, I mean, Render's built on it. We have Helium network built on it. I think we have the Solana phone, for example. Man, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna have to put it in the A tier, right? They're building a separate network just in case the main network runs, falls off a cliff, right? Runs down. Now, Uniswap, D tier. I mean, look, Uniswap, it's a mandatory project. We need it, right? We need it as an AMM, but as an investment vehicle, maybe not. Now, XDC, I think XDC is a project that is really penetrating the normal markets, right? It's penetrating the Web 2 market more than Web 3 right now. But that's great because it's going to be adopted, and it actually is adopted. It's guys, if you understood even like 1/10 of what is actually happening with XDC right now, you would 100% agree with me that it'd be a literal nightmare or a literal crime against humanity to put anything less than an S tier. Now, Stellar. Well, look, it's going to come XRP second here. I have a personal preference towards XLM, particularly when we're talking about multiples gained, because XLM has like 1/10 or 1/8 of the market cap size of XRP, meaning, just simply speaking, it can get you more multiples. And that's what half of us are in, well, I say half of us, like 95% of us are in crypto for, as well as a tech. If you just say you're in it for the tech and you're investing in it for speculation to make money, then you're also in it for the money. So XLM, in my opinion, is going to go into the, this is a good question. This is a difficult one. I'm thinking between S and A tier. If there was some way I could like maybe put it in between, like an A+, S-, I probably would. But for that reason, A tier it is. Now, XRP, I'm just not going to waste too much time here. I'm going to put it in the B tier only because of that exact reason. Fundamentally speaking, XRP would be as an S tier project if you're looking at it from the lens of what's it doing, what's it penetrating, and is it penetrating? S tier, 100%, 100%. But again, we're looking for the 2025 bull run specifically. My ranking towards that, right? Now, Energy Web, 100 mil market cap, nice low market cap project, a lot of room to grow. Do normies get it? Are people going to get hyped up about it? Probably not, right? It would be an S tier project as well. They have some huge partners out there. They even partner with Shell, right? I think even Google, I could be corrected on that, or Amazon. Say more. I think in this case, I'm going to have to put in the C tier. Again, I have to get that lower ranking for that reason. Jasmy, I mean, look, Jasmy, I'm going to put it in the D tier only because you guys are like, Jasmy, what the hell? Jasmy is such a good quality project. But do you know fundamentally like what it is going to take for it to actually be adopted? If you can't answer that question, then you have no merit telling me it's a good project. Because if you understood the flywheel that has to happen here, it's very hard for Jasmy to gain adoption. People call it the Bitcoin of Japan. I was explaining the reason as to why. Still don't get it. I think it's not the Bitcoin of Japan. It's IoT. It is data. It has got nothing to do with payments or store of value. So in that case, it's a D tier. Now, Casper. A lot of hype about Casper. Personally, not too fond of it because I don't think fundamentally it has any use cases until the smart contracts come in, and unless there's developers building on it, we might have a big stalling point here. It might crash, and it might cause a lot of people to start flooding the project in 2025, which wouldn't be good for your investment. So in my opinion, and I know I have a little bit of a Casper community growing on this channel here, you might hate me for putting it in the D tier, but it's going to go there. Nia, massive upgrade coming out in 2025. Its main shining approach, it's right up there next to Multiverse X, and because of that reason, because it has so much explosive potential, it's going to be in the A tier. It's got a great network, don't get me wrong, but I want to see it just develop a little bit more for me to be a little bit more confident in the project for it to be that S tier. Next up, we have Nillion. Now, I'm not going to waste any time with Nillion. You guys have seen the channel. You've obviously known me speaking about Nillion quite a bit. It hasn't actually released its token yet. It will be very, very soon. This is fundamentally changing the storage, decentralized computation, cloud space entirely. It's going to be amazing when this project comes out. Now, Sui, I don't know too much about Sui, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, I can't really speak. I do know it's very heavy into like the gaming aspect of things, which will be a great market. It's been developed for a while now. So in my opinion, I would be comfortable putting it in the C tier, but I could definitely see it being a B tier project for sure. Thorchain, I think, look, honestly, great for DeFi. It's layer one, fair enough. It's got all these awesome use cases. People thrive about it, but I think with, Chainlink CCIP, there's going to be things that are going to come out that's going to make, Thorchain obsolete, or at least force it to innovate quickly. My opinion, and this might come from a little bit of a lack of experience with Thorchain, but I'm going to put it in D tier for now. VeChain will be an S tier project, but in my opinion, they aren't growing as much in crypto because I feel like people know that it's a centralized project. It is a delegated proof of stake network. It is completely permissioned. Therefore, it doesn't have the crypto philosophies. People might look at that as a very, very bad thing. So just because of that, again, it would be an S tier project in my eyes. Because of that reason, I'm going to put it in the D tier. LF0, not going to waste any time on LF0, definitely an A tier project. Moon River, again, so we have, Moonbeam up there, it's SisterNet. This is actually on Kusama. Again, I think it has a pumpermentals factor to it, which is what people are going to love, and that's going to drive demand to it. So in my opinion, most definitely between a B and an A tier, I might actually put it next to its SisterNet just because of that pumpermental factor in the A tier. Litecoin, one of my employees, Mark, actually said to me recently, he goes, Litecoin's a sleeper. I think he might be right, but I haven't done enough research on a Litecoin. I think it's one of those investments that are more safer, more so than more multiples. Could be wrong, but in my opinion, just don't really see it being this project that's going to stand the test of time as well. So D tier for now. Injective, I've recently been introduced to Injective. I know a lot of people love it. I don't know too much about it. I'm still doing my research on the project. It's kind of blowing people away, and I looked at it on a stream recently and it kind of blew me away a little bit too, and that was a very, very base sort of understanding of the project. So let's put it in the B tier. And last but not least, we have the Graph. Now, the Graph is a great project, right? Indexing, it's very important for crypto. I think fundamentally on the bottom layer, what we don't see is actually more important than what we do see a lot of the time. The Graph is that project, but are people going to come and thrive and join into it and want to use the network? That is a whole different question. That's the premise of this video. So in my personal opinion, my personal ranking, I couldn't put it above a C tier, unfortunately. So with that said, I think that fundamentally makes this video complete. You guys can obviously have a look at the chart in front of you. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And I know a lot of you will disagree with that. Now, keep in mind, these things change over time, which is why I like to make one of these sort of videos every so often, because again, this will change depending on news and updates. We might find Casper with a K moves to A tier. We might find, for example, Ethereum moves to an E tier. We just don't know, right? So it's very important you guys take this as subjective as of today, and I hope you have enjoyed. Take good care, guys. All the best for 2025. Let's kill it. Bye.